Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back as well with with the preview, more than a preview. You give me 1 second. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying because my all right, got that taken care of. I'm watching the other games in the background right now. We've got obviously a big game tomorrow for ourselves, but we also have some games going on presently. Some games that are technically via aggregate aren't necessarily achievable results or results for the teams that are chasing, but certainly results that they are going to pursue all the same. So we'll see if they are able to do so, as they are now at halftime, the majority of the games, and they will probably go full time while we are on air for this more than a preview of the Galatasaray matchup that we have tomorrow. So, maybe hopefully you're doing what I do normally, which is whenever I'm trying to watch a game and maybe even I'll listen along to like some of the other podcasters or content creators out there, like Fozzie or the Beijing Reds or Anfield Irishman or whoever it might be. So I do appreciate if you're joining along. Oh, got some wild scores so far in this one. Wild because again, there's some of these teams. Some of these teams are just so far gone when it comes to the type of form we're used to seeing with some of these clubs. But all the same, it is what it is. Big up Trudon Slot, linked to Ajax. I tell you the truth, Trudon, if he were to go to Ajax, I think that'd be a fantastic decision on his part and on Ajax's part to become partners in a pursuit of restoring Ajax to a level of excellence in Holland. They are a club that has certainly been a part of European royalty at one point, but they've certainly fallen on hard times as of late, and they have one of the best youth academy programs in Europe, hands down, still to this day. So it's not a lack of ability or talent at their reach, but it would be very interesting if that were to happen. Shout out to Heiler, big up to you as well. How are you doing, my friend? Guten Tag, guten Tag. Yeah, Feyenoord fans would not be too happy about that one. I agree with that, Red Armchair supporter. Shout out to you too, by the way. How are you doing? Let's see. Heiler saying, did you see the published stats from Liverpool Tottenham in the work rate department? Heiler says he was shocked when all the numbers came, but it underlines what he has said before about us working less. Yes, I agree. A lot of what you're seeing today is something of revealing about all of our situations that we see on the pitch. I know there's been a couple of different segments that have definitely addressed this. I've read and seen I've read the majority of the articles, but seen also some of the pieces that they've done on The Athletic, and I've seen also what Jamie Carragher had to say, actually, because I bring that up because Arnie was asked that direct question about his analysis about Arne Slot's Jamie Carragher's analysis on Arne Slot and our team in general. And it was interesting because he said that he does not only necessarily agree with Jamie most of the times, but to the most part, he agreed with them what he had to say about this as well. So it was very interesting. We'll deal with that a little bit. I did watch the press conference. It is going to be very interesting, by the way, what this press conference kind of symbolized. You know how at least my perception is when you see a particular player get the privilege of representing the team in a actual press conference. usually that player is going to be involved in that game. Now, I know that's happened once before where Endo was, I believe, the player that got asked to do the press conference, and he didn't start. That's been like the rare occasion that I've seen a player not get involved. And why I'm bringing that up is because it's very interesting to see what they're going to do with this lineup. I'm very interested to see what we go with, because considering that Robbo did play in the last game, does that mean if he is going to be present in this starting lineup, does that mean something about maybe Kirkaz's fitness, or does that mean simply the gravity of this game is so important that we have to have the experience of Robbo involved in it? So it's very interesting to see. We've got the games going on in the background. Like I said, the games are starting in the second half. They'll be on in the background for us. I'll keep you guys up with best updates as I can. And I'll also include you with some of the happenings of what it is and what it will be. And yes, Red Armchair supporter, Ekitike is technically okay. I explained that last time. I know sometimes, most of us have tuned out when it comes to the press conferences that we have to take in from Arne Slot, simply because a lot of the comments sometimes, touch the wrong buttons on us, maybe bring about a sense of uneasement, and sometimes the comments are just kind of just outrageous. Not want to say outrageous, but they're just kind of harsh, or maybe even outrageous at times. But he did speak on that. He spoke on that before, and then the reason why, for instance, like I was trying to explain, a lot of people wanted to see Ekitike in this last matchup that we had against Spurs. It was we had a depleted squad and the likes, and I was trying to explain why I understood what he did, and I understood why he had to do what he did, because Ekitike wasn't at full fitness. So again, it's scary because also he mentioned that Konate. Again, the reason why Gomez went was because of Konate's unable to be fit at the time of start for that Spurs matchup, and Gomez again not being fit, accurately fit enough technically to play, but yet he took one for the team and actually went and did his best to try to get involved in the game as a starter. So it is going to be something. There are certain nights in football which obviously define seasons, and this upcoming night is one of those defining moments for this team. Let's just be honest. And Wednesday night is going to be a little bit of both for us, in the sense of it's going to be defining for our season, but also defining for this coach, I would say, as well, because it's going to see if he can actually galvanize this team to get behind him and rally forward. We'll be walking into this game with a 1-0 deficit, basically, because of the aggregate score. That first leg in Istanbul was not an easy one. No one expected it to be, but certainly we didn't anticipate that we would be down in this competition. But that game was a game where, once again, these Liverpool Reds that we call our own looked disjointed. We looked reactive rather than proactive. We were ultimately punished by a side that knew we were vulnerable. And that was an issue. That was certainly an issue. And if we're honest with ourselves, I'm saying, I'm always honest on this station and the channel, and always honest in general. But vulnerability has been the theme of this team the last week. We failed to beat Spurs despite leading for the majority of the match, despite being having plenty of reserves, like quality reserves on the bench, despite the fact that Spurs were decimated by injuries. despite the fact that their coach was looking like he didn't even know who Arne Slot was, much less know. Would you perceive that he would know how to go into Anfield and get a result for Spurs, who are hurting, dwelling close to relegation at the moment? And we dropped 2 points. It's a confidence rattler, and it certainly makes us fragile going into this next game. It's sad to say, but and Arne dealt with some of these questions in press conference. It is sad to say, that there are those of us that have gone from believers to doubters. There's those of us that whose confidence has been shook enough so that we question how and what is going to be involved in this next fixture. And there's questions around the squad. There's around Arne, like I said, around the trajectory of the season. It's very difficult when you're Robbo and you're answering questions, and your first question you have to answer is, what's your future with this team? Very difficult. And I know that tonight we're going to break down exactly what Liverpool must do to avoid this the outcome of getting knocked out of Champions League. Sorry, just saw Bernardo Silva. He is so dirty. I thought that might have been a handball, but anyway. We're also going to see and kind of delve into some of the things that have been said in not only the press conference, but in other people's content creations. Shout out to LT, big up. It's a new name that I haven't seen before, but evening to you. Welcome to this 12th man community. It's a lot that we're going to have to break down. And I guess to start it off, let's just talk about both teams. Let's talk about the both teams aspect of it all, because we can start cold. We can start with the hard reality of, and that is that we have two teams that need to have a solid performance tomorrow. Let me bring in JK real quick before I get too delve in. There, JK?
All good, bro. What are you saying?
Just breaking down a little bit about what we're going to be facing tomorrow. Got the games on in the background. Watching Bernardo Silva handball, get away with handballs and the likes.
It couldn't happen to a better guy, innit? That's what. As soon as that happened, I said he couldn't happen to a better guy. Maybe if he stayed on the pitch, they might have done it. They might have done something. But hey,
yeah. It is all the same. He's such a dirty player, dude. He's such a dirty. He is Master Splinter for a reason. I'll actually, you know what? Let me just ask this question, because I had this for later on in the show, but I'll bring it up now since we're just talking about him. I'll ask you this. Let me just make sure I have this ready for you. I'll ask you this to the chat. Who is more of a villain, of a Liverpool villain? Like, as in, I know hate is a strong word, but trust me, there are certain players that I do hate. And Bernardo Silva is certainly one of them. It's this man, an individual right here, the captain of Manchester City. Simply, I just despise him because of his dirty antics. He plays a lot of he's an immensely talented player, yet he just simply uses the dark arts to another level sometimes. There's very few players, for instance, that get under Mohamed Salah's skin to the point where Mohamed Salah wants to fight them. This individual is one of them. Okay. But I was asking, who's more of a villain? Who's more of a hated player in your mind? Like, who's more of a villain to you? Would it be Bernardo Silva, or would it be the pigeon, Richarlison? Who's it for you?
Bernardo Silva, bro.
Is it Bernardo Silva? Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And tell me why. Tell me why.
It's just the attitude of his. Whenever we played him, he tried to give it like he was 6'10". That
Mhm.
attitude, at the end of the day, if he played for us, we'd love him. You know what I mean? He's that type of guy. If you don't play for you don't really like him. If you play for you love him and stuff. But I've heard in the last few days and weeks that a lot of people are a bit tired of him now because he's getting old. For me, he's one of the City's best players under Pep.
Yeah. I think he's going the same route. I think his career is going to go the same route as KDB, despite the fact that he doesn't have the same amount of injuries of the likes, But I'm just saying, in the sense of KDB has gotten older. Obviously, he's one of the older players in the league, and the injuries that he's had to sustain didn't necessarily help his longevity. But with Bernardo Silva, it wasn't like he was like athletically superior in a lot of attributes, but he was certainly talented enough and with his skills and the likes to be good. But it's just a question. Bernardo Silva. I do hate Bernardo Silva, but I can't stand Richarlison, dude. It's like maybe a coin toss for most, but I cannot stand Richarlison. I just think Richarlison looks. He like. I think he goes to bed with like a poster of Liverpool of all the different like things he wants to like. Yeah, dartboard, like one of those like whoopee cushions or whatever you heard it, of Liverpool.
For me, we need to do a show where we pick the worst 11 like that. The most annoying.
We've done that before. You remember that? I don't know if you remember that. We did that before.
We need to do a revamp of it. Yeah. It'd probably be the same.
It'd probably be the same.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Back in the days.
But we can do another one.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you this much. Erling Haaland has just been subbed out, by the way. I don't get it. Come on. 4-1 in aggregate, 1-1 obviously in game, and it is very interesting to have been pulling out one of your obviously most lethal scorers on the pitch. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you've seen Pep's outfit for today. I know I'm not trying to be fashionable.
Yeah. Different.
I don't know what he looks like. He looks like he's going camping or something. I don't know. He's like going on holiday.
Hi to Red Armchair, Helio as well. Jimmy, good to see you guys, man.
Good to see all of you.
Yeah, I've seen that, Helio, about Tottenham running more than us guys. Yeah, at home as well.
Yep.
That's mad.
Yep.
It wasn't like they were chasing after us. You know what I mean? We weren't even doing nothing fast. So, yeah, Arsenal treated us.
And that's the reason, and that's just another knock, I guess you could say, against Arne and his tactics, is that in that game alone, I understand that you're trying to conserve some energy for that upcoming matchup against, Galatasaray, but still the same in that matchup against Spurs, they have a limited bench. If anything, you want to make them exert as much energy as possible, considering they have a limited bench, and they will tire. But yet here it is, us playing jogging. There was a couple segments. I don't know if you watched that the clip that I sent in group chat by Jamie Carragher, and he was documenting, breaking it down as to there's players jogging back. There's so much space in the middle that the midfield is so easy to get through. This referee is so poor, by the way, right now. So poor. Vinicius Jr. Let me see if he. Vinicius Jr. doesn't get by Donnarumma. Donnarumma just stands his ground. Kind of put his hand out there, but he stands his ground. Doesn't get called for the red card. Real Madrid are pushing and pursuing for a go-ahead goal in this game. I stopped watching the Arsenal matchup. I was watching it when they hit the 1-0 mark with the Eze goal, which was a fantastic strike, by the way. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it was an absolute blast of a shot. Before that, they had pretty much done nothing. It was just a wonder strike out of nowhere. So Doku is offsides. Just scored, but he is offsides. He was way offsides. I don't know why he was even thinking about it. Let's see. Yeah, he's offsides. So 2-0. Leverkusen down to in aggregate 2-0. 2 goals down in aggregate to Arsenal. Looks like they are going to progress on into the Champions League. I'm not too concerned. I don't know about you guys out there, but I'm not too concerned about Arsenal winning the Champions League despite them maybe getting past Leverkusen. Leverkusen
playing good as well. Kwanzaa's been playing good.
Well. Yeah, they're playing well, but they're just Leverkusen isn't a team that is going to possibly, give a lot of other teams problems. The Chelsea matchup is a good one for us, I guess, and a bad one. I know that some of us want to see. I know, JK, you were saying, for instance, that you want to see PSG the next round. I personally did want to see Chelsea in the next round simply because it would have been 2 more games that we would have to take on, obviously, in pursuit of Champions League. Yet, at least it would be 2 more games that Chelsea as well would have to take on in Champions League, in the sense of if they get knocked out by PSG, now all of a sudden that's one less competition that they have to worry about. And it's a little bit more time that they have to concentrate on the Premier League and pursuing that campaign a little bit stronger and more fiercer in their pursuit. But it is what it is. I was going to talk about the result that we saw. You said that you saw that the segment that said, or the statistic that said how much more that Tottenham had run comparatively to us. It was a frustrating theme for us yesterday that seems to be frustrating primarily more so than not because it's a repetitive theme for this team, I think. It is a strange paradox for this team that when European nights arrive, usually Liverpool can muster up some brilliance, muster up some special charm that could possibly create the difference in our club. And we did see Robbo did answer that question about the fact that, us being at Anfield should and could and in his mind and his belief would make a difference. And there are some, I got into a conversation, I got roped into a conversation, actually. It wasn't even by my choice, but all the same. She is a friend of the channel, so I definitely, and she's always normally, despite being a Spurs fan, she is certainly a welcome guest and welcome participant in our conversations. And the person that I was talking with was talking about how Anfield has become less of a fortress and even a cauldron of noise, I guess you could say. Is that your interpretation? I know you haven't been to a match maybe recently, but is that your idea? Is that the interpretation that you're having? Is Anfield still the place that we all that should be feared by our competitors, or do you think that our
Uh,
opposition comes in with renewed hope?
well, when you look at the scores this season, it tells you what you need to know, isn't it? Really answers
Mhm,
that question. It isn't
mhm.
the same as it used to be. Why? Because we play first, second gear, first football in the first 20, 30 minutes. Um, Hence, back in the days, teams come to Anfield would bombard them with attacks, and we don't seem to do that no more.
And it's uniquely interesting because I mean we've beaten some really fair. I mean, two teams that are still in the Champions League, two teams that are actually going to be possibly moving on in the Champions League. Currently, Real Madrid, we've beaten them. We've beaten Atletico Madrid. We've beaten, or at least we could say, we've beaten both Madrid. We've beaten Madrid, whether Atletico or Real, and across all competition, Liverpool have only lost once in their last 10 matches at Liverpool or at Anfield. But it's like it is something of an interesting conception that a little bit of that fear factor is gone. And I know that the individual, the gentleman that was in the conversation with me was he was harping about how there's too many tourists, quote unquote, at Anfield, and there was not enough. Um, there's too many tourists at Anfield, and there was not enough people that would um, be able to give you a real like vibrant feel of what Anfield normally produces. And he was talking about how the era of money, and he's talking about um, obviously the ownership groups that are involved in football, in English football in particular nowadays, and the likes. And he was going on a lot of different tangents to try to build his reasoning why it was what it was. Interesting too is because that game was not a sellout. Often, I think, I mean, one of the main reasons why we built a new tier was because of the new emergence of crowd interest in going to Anfield. But there was no sellout. There wasn't a sellout for that game. There were still tickets available for that game. So as much as he might want to quote unquote say it was for the tourists or the likes, if that's the case, then there has to be a deeper reasoning behind it if even locals aren't purchasing the tickets to go to this game. Some might say, oh, because of the ticket prices and the likes. I understand that, but still, Liverpool's prices for tickets are relatively moderately priced comparatively to other clubs in England. With that said, I'm not saying that they're cheap. I know they're not cheap, and I know cost of living is extremely high and difficult for a lot of people in the world. But all the same, getting down just to it, there's a lot more involved in it than just saying let's blame, I don't know, visiting fans that are trying to make an experience of a team that they support globally. I just found it interesting. Um, I want to also Gomez absent from training today. Yes, he is. Yes, he is absent, and um, Okay. Just seeing what is something. Okay. All right. You are with us, right? Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Just getting a little bit of getting my setup here to go a little bit further with what I have to say. It's going to be interesting. Galatasaray is actually doing decent. They have, I think, in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think last 6 games, they've had only 1 loss. They've been 5 wins, 1 loss. Champions League form, a little bit different settings, but in the Turkish league, they've definitely been putting together some real good runs. Let's see what it is. Oh, you guys are talking about the amount of what we've been doing on the pitch by running. I get that. Oh, shout out to Jimmy, by the way. Didn't get to say hello. How are you, Jimmy? Good to see you, as always. I guess I'm gonna bring out some numbers since you guys are bringing out numbers, and Tyler, shout out to you for bringing out these numbers for us. I'm gonna bring out some numbers. Hopefully, can paint the picture along with what Tyler's saying. I can paint some other pictures with the numbers that we have going on, and that is Liverpool scored 20 goals in 9 Champions League matches this season. That's 2.23 goals per match. So when you think about it, the attack is clearly capable of doing the job. And I'm talking about Champions League matches at least. But defensively, there have been some real cracks. Now, there's different ways to argue as to why those cracks exist. But Liverpool conceded 4 goals at Anfield. 4 goals, actually, in a single match, if you remember, against PSV. And perhaps more worrying is the fact that we have not kept a clean sheet in our last 5 matches across all competitions. There was a moment when we started picking up clean sheets, and it was looking like, okay, there's talk about how Arne Slot had made a difference. He had made the adjustments to make us more of a defensive-minded team and the likes, and we were focusing more on defending, and it impacted our offense. But then again, at least we're keeping clean sheets, which is keeping us in games and not necessarily leaving us vulnerable at the end of the games for late goals and the likes. However, the last 5 games, not so much. Because Galatasaray only need 1 goal to make this tie basically a very difficult place for us. We all know how we don't score in beginnings of games. We tend to leave it late. But we tend to score more in the second half than we do in the first half of games. But it is certainly troubling that we could be gotten, in a sense, if we don't come out and try to attack this Galatasaray team, possibly leaving ourselves open. Are you willing? I'm going to ask you this, JK. Are you willing to gamble in the sense of being more offensive minded, maybe holding a higher line, pursuing, trying to get that goal back early, or are you trying to work our way into the rhythm of the game?
Yeah, Slot, bro, what he's going to do. He's going to hold it until the 78th minute and they're trying to get a fucking goal. I'm like, come on.
Okay.
What's going on here?
Okay.
You're playing at Anfield. It's Champions League night. You smash this team. Simple. There's no ifs or buts about it. If not, there's the door. See you next year or wherever you want to go. Ajax. Enough's enough, Brad. You know, we let Wolves beat us and Tottenham get a point off us. Come on. You can't like. And there's no need to do a team talk for tomorrow's game, bro. We're 1-0 fucking down against a team that's okay. It's not great. It's okay. Where normally we'd probably got a 2-0 win over there back in the days. In the Klopp, we would have got a 2-0 win there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're trying to get a goal back just to get back equal. Madness.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is going to be as he's offsides. City nearly went up 2-1 there, but it looks like he is offsides. 8-Nauri. Let's see if he is offsides or not. Oh, he's well offsides. Tomorrow, I think there's one player that we would have to concentrate on. I think the player I'm going to mention is probably the player that you would suggest as being the primary player that we have to shut down. And that is Victor Osimhen. Shout out to K-Mac. That's his number one target for Liverpool. Victor Osimhen has been absolutely devastating this season for them, meaning the Turkish side. He has 7 Champions League goals. He has 12 in the Turkish league. He's 11 goals in the last 8 games. He has 11 goals for them in his last 8 games, and it was his assist, obviously, that created the decisive moment in the first leg. This is a striker that thrives on chaos. He presses relentlessly, which is unique. I will give K-Mac credit in the sense of if Osimhen was a part of this team, at least we'd have a striker that is more adept at pressing than our current strikers are. Not saying they can't press, but I'm just saying that certain strikers are very adjusted to or acclimated to pressing, and others look to poach or look to be more of the normal number 9s. But all the same, he attacks space with explosive speed. He has he will definitely punish even the smallest opportunity. He's going to try to punish us. Liverpool's back line, I can't emphasize this, has to be on point. What is harsh and what is very, very important, I think, in this next matchup, and this is just my perspective of what I would like to see us do more of, and that is we're going to have to possibly do a lot more as opposed to doing zonal coverage in some portions of the pitch. We will have to do more of a man-to-man perception of our defense, and I think considering Ibu and Gomez, obviously Gomez didn't practice today, but Ibu and Gomez are on the mend. It's going to probably fall into Virgil van Dijk's hands to take on possibly the most menacing threat that they have, I think. And he's going to have to step up and really do it, because it only takes one mistake and we could be 2-0 down in this tie, and all of a sudden looking at having to come back, have an enormous comeback in this game to actually bring about some type of result. Is that the player that you would say is your concern, or do you have another player maybe?
Yeah, he's the main one, isn't he? Really.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really worried about that. I'm more worried about us. What we're gonna do, For me, I need to see Hugo Ekitike have a top game. Him and Wirtz win the game for us. Them two. Salah's done it enough times. Fair play to Leverkusen, man. They should have got a goal.
Oh, they almost scored. I didn't see that. I'm not watching that game any longer, but they shouldn't have been it shouldn't have been 1-1 in aggregate anyway. In this game, it should have been 1-0 going into this game.
Exactly.
Let's see what we can do here.
What about Sporting today? I had a funny feeling about that Bodo were going to get battered by Sporting. I just had a funny feeling, and they did 5-0. I was like, wow.
So it's a really it's a signature performance by them. I would go as far as to say it's an excellent performance by them because yeah, there's no guarantee that there's absolutely no guarantee. Are they not going to call a penalty on that? Maybe. No, they're not going to call a penalty. They're not. The amount of holding that you get away with in football today
it's gone worse.
It's just it is absolutely incredible.
Hugging and grappling and stuff like that. Back in the days, weren't that bad when we didn't have VAR. Now you got VAR. VAR ignores it. It's just mad. We didn't play like that. Our players, we're not them type of players. We're clean sort of footballers. Look at Arsenal. Declan Rice the other week was hugging I don't know who was it. He was hugging someone. It must have been his cousin. Pasta, not Rice.
Oh yeah. On the corner kick.
Yeah, on the corner kick. What game was that?
That was against Chelsea.
Oh yeah, Chelsea. I think it was João Pedro actually. Yeah,
it was João Pedro. It was.
That's the Arteta, that is.
Oh, that
the team
is,
always betrays the manager. Let's always remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the
mad,
that's the yeah. That's the crappy thing about it is that you don't want to sound like a sourpuss in that you're hating on Arsenal because of this or for that reason. It's more so it's just like if that's the kind of football you want to be not only standard, but like if that's the kind of football that you're like intrigued to see, that's a shame, I think, personally. I honestly do think it's a shame because the football deserves better, I think. This game is still 1-1 that I got on in the background. It's still 1-1. Real Madrid. Turkey is trying to make a difference in this game currently. But it is 1-1 Real Madrid City so far. Monaco have been declared AFCON winners. Senegal result overturned. That is crazy.
Yeah, man. What's that all about?
I don't know what that's all about. And Trudon hopefully will bring out some insight as to why. I know High Lord, Trudon, all the OGs of the chat tend to get breaking news and share it with the group. So certainly tell us as to what that's all about. I have not heard about that. Just a little bit more focused on Champions League today and the likes. This Premier League this preview I have for us.
We've got to beat Man City in the FA Cup. Yeah, Man City are out the Champions League now. They're not great, Man City. Come on.
They're not. They're not the Man City of old, to be honest with you. It's just that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just really not the Man City of old. They're vulnerable. There's certainly a little bit of fragility amongst them. Even their swagger isn't as confident as it used to be. Heck, it's like I said earlier. I mean, it looks like Pep just got back from chopping some wood outside or something. Ready to take on watching. Yeah, he did cut down some firewood.
Look how much have you noticed, like in Liverpool's history, when we've played big Champions League games or and we're winning and we're going to win, we always stay over. Like I've always stay until the end and stay an extra 30 minutes with the crowd and stuff. I'm just looking at this Arsenal game, bro. You know how many people just left? Yeah, I know it's London. I get all that bullshit, but at the end of the day, your team's winning, and you got like there's empty seats everywhere. It's just like I don't understand the philosophy of it. You want to cheer at the end. That's what you go to the game for, isn't it?
Yeah. But then again, like I would not be surprised if it is Real Madrid, so you probably do have a sellout or you are very close to a sellout for this game. I would assume for City, but there's a chance that you possibly don't because it is Manchester City. You know, they don't sell out. They don't sell out them a good number of their games. And even on European nights, they don't, which is kind of crazy to think of. But it's why I said, there's reasons behind a lot of different things when it comes to the attendances of these games. I mean, there's empty seats right now for City right now, and I can see pockets of seats empty at this game because there's sometimes these fans just give up. They've just given up. It's a shame to see, but City is not what they used to be.
Yeah, but it's like when you look at Pep Guardiola, what he's gave to City, he's gave them more than league titles, Champions League title, and the amount of disrespect I've heard about him from City fans. Him, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, even. It just shows you the mentality of human beings, bro. I don't care what Salah does for us this season. I said it at the start of the season. I do not care what Salah does for us this season. Why? For whatever he's done in the season before and the season before and the season before is worth whatever he wants to do now. That's how good this guy is. So I've never moaned about Salah. That don't mean I support him in everything he does. That don't get me wrong. But it's that element of respect, So when I hear about Pep Guardiola getting grief from City fans, I'm like, you know what? I'm losing interest in football. What does it all mean? So like people like us, imagine we were footballers, bro, and we were all right. We weren't great, but we ended up at City or Liverpool. They would burn us on the barbecue, man. We'll have a dodgy game, couple of dodgy games, and we're done.
Pretty much.
We've got to show the appreciation and respect of what people do. Jurgen Klopp gave 10 years of his life to Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
And the amount of rubbish I heard concerning him made me realise a big thing as well. That was from Liverpool fans, so-called. Not for me, they're not a Liverpool fan. Fair enough if you don't like Klopp's tactics. Yeah, I understand that. But look at the bigger picture with Klopp, what he did for the club. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. Like, fans need to take a seat back instead of taking the rip out of each other and have a serious talk about which way football fans are going, social media-wise and everything, Like, get a grip, show a bit of level of respect. Even Arne Slot, bro. Arne Slot's tactics drive me up the wall. I don't like his football, but I wouldn't get personal with it. So I'll say, you know what? Fair enough. You're not a great manager. You're not good enough for us. That's it. Leave it as that. But some people take it too far, man. So respect the game. That's the main thing. Yeah, I remember in that game, the Morocco game, Senegal came off the pitch. I remember. Yeah.
2-1.
It was a long one.
Vinicius Jr. has just scored. Pep looks absolutely bewildered.
Yeah, but what has he done in the last 4 games, bro? When you look at Pep Guardiola, what's he done there? I don't think Haaland was fit. Weird, see. You watch them against us in the FA Cup. We got them in about 2 weeks. FA Cup. 4th or 5th, something like that. What's them? What's Bernardo Silva that day? The twat.
I don't think he's offsides. You have to show me the semi. You have to show me the
Hi, Trudon. Yeah.
his barnyard dance shirt on.
Yeah, that is some barnyard dance shirt, bro.
Yeah.
Hillbilly.
That goal counts, by the way, Trudon. It counts because they're playing on now. It is 2-1. Oh no, it doesn't. They just took it off the scoreboard now. Now it's 1-1.
I think it was 3-0 in the first game, and I think if Silva stayed on the pitch and it was 11 against 11, and then City got a goal, didn't they, Haaland?
Mm-hmm.
Then they could have probably wrestled up something. But when you're 10 men down early, so early that he was, it's not going to happen.
Let's see. They're pressing forward to see if they're going to get a goal. It's 5 minutes of extra time in this one. They're in the 3rd minute of extra time currently. I don't know. Mark Gay, how you feeling now? I wonder how he's feeling now.
No, bro.
Now I see why you said it's 2-1.
Like, you know what? They're playing Arsenal on Sunday in the final, aren't they? Imagine he wins nothing.
No,
But
yeah,
you know
I'm
what?
a little
I want
behind.
City to win
I'm a
on
little
Sunday.
behind Trudon. I'm a little behind Trudon, but he just now I see why.
What's happened?
Vinny Jr. just scored again. He said, "Oh, my offsides? Cool. Kyle just scored this time."
Pep Guardiola should have thought, you know what? Let's win the game then. Like, we ain't going to win the tie. Let's win the game and go into the final with a win. Keep Haaland on the pitch. But I don't think Haaland's fit.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not concerned. No. Arsenal not for me. I've seen today Leverkusen had enough sort of opportunities to get on the score sheet, a couple of goals. Arsenal, it's just a hype thing with me, Arsenal. Look, Sunday, City need to turn up. City are terrible. City are terrible.
City are bad, but it's over. I think the only thing the City will probably end up winning this season will be possibly a League Cup if at best.
I thought it was a penalty.
Oh man, yeah, sorry.
Put your hands in the air, bro.
Oh
yeah, put your hands in the air when you cough.
Sorry about that. That's simply because I just saw his outfit. He didn't even tuck his shirt in. He's like, he just got it like he just threw on a shirt and just rolled out of bed type thing. Wow. Pep's outfit looks like City's attitude for this year.
Yeah. Comical, me. Not football like that shirt. I don't know what he's doing there. He's thinking about retiring, isn't it? That's the sort of shirt you wear when you retire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Is. Yeah.
Yeah, this City team looks like they're going to get beat by Arsenal Sunday.
That was Pep Linder's Christmas presents for him. So.
There you go. Have that, Pep.
Here's a lucky.
That's why we're going to win tomorrow now.
Yeah.
We're laughing at that, but we got to win tomorrow now, bro.
We have to.
Chelsea are out. City are out. So that's 2 down.
Yeah.
Tottenham will be out.
Down.
Barcelona, Newcastle, tricky. So realistically, it's just an Arsenal that are probably going to go through. So we got to make sure tomorrow how we're going to line up. Like for me, I can quickly run through what team I'd go with. I'd go with Alisson in goal.
Give me 1 second. Let me get to that section. I'm almost coming up on that segment, so let me just get to that segment with you.
German fans are proper football fans, bro. Look at they're all singing for the players. They just got beat 2-0, but they're all there cheering the players on and that. Fair play, Leverkusen really surprised me how good they played.
Yeah. Before we get
3-1,
to it,
not bad when you think about it. It could have been a battering.
It could have been a battering. Real Madrid 2-1 victors in this game against City, a 10-man City. Obviously, Bernardo Silva was their captain, doing a little bit of doing his dark arts, but he got caught. 3-0 PSG over Chelsea. 2-0 Arsenal over Leverkusen. and 5-0, as JK spoke on earlier, to for Sporting over Bodo Glimt, which brings an end to their Cinderella story. But let me just get into some of these quotes before we get into these team lineups that we're going to talk about. And because like the tone from both camps reflects obviously the magnitude of this game. Arne Slot acknowledged the challenge directly. He said, quote, "We have played them twice this season and lost twice, but now we play at home with the support of our fans." Slot knows this equation has to be something of a complex yet simple approach to it. Get out there, play your game, but get the support and energy from the fans to lift you up and get you over the line. Anfield must become the difference tomorrow. Meanwhile, Robbo spoke on perhaps the most honest assessment from the Liverpool dressing room, at least, and he answered by saying, quote, "We believe this squad is good enough to reach the last 8, but we have to show it. It's plain and simple." I think because belief without performance means nothing in football, we have to do something about not only saying the right things, but also projecting and acting out those actions that we need to get this victory. On the Galatasaray side, their manager struck a confident but cautious tone, saying playing against Liverpool is always very difficult. They can capitalize on every mistake. Their midfielder, Mario Lemina, made it clear that their ambitions are not defensive. He says he wants to win at Anfield as well. This will not be a park bus performance. Galatasaray, I believe, they can hurt Liverpool, and this is what is going to have to come across the minds of our Reds, in that they need to be on guard, but yet they need to be progressive in this game. I have my lineup, but let me hear what your lineup is. You want to get your lineup out there?
I'll go Addison in goal for sure. Frimpong, Kanate, Virgil, and Kirkes. And then I'll go Gravenberch, Sabotolai, Wirtz, and then Rio, Ekatike, Salah. Yeah.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Say it one more time so I can visualize it again.
Alisson, Frimpong, Kanate, Virgil, Kirkes, Gravenberch, Sabotolai, Wirtz, Rio, Hugo, Ekatike, and Salah.
Okay. Shout out to those joining us. I see that now that the games have come to an end, there's a lot more of you starting to filter in. Shout out to each and every one of you. I was going to say this is going to be my lineup. I think your lineup is a good one. I think this would be the lineup I would be going with. Or at least I think that he's going to go with, at least. I'm not saying this is my lineup per se, but and don't unfortunately, when I utilized the AI to make this graphic, it did not necessarily take all the likenesses accurately, as in Florian Wirtz is a little bit I don't know who that is, like his cousin or something, but but all the same, even Ekatike looks a little bit hashed out. But Gomez is most probably. I understand that. We've already spoken on that numerous times about how he was not in training today. However, Slot did mention about the fact that he was going to make it a last minute decision as to whether that was going to happen, if he's going to be a part of the squad or not. I know also, again, I spoke on how Robbo did the press conference today. So it makes me, originally when I put this lineup together, I had Kirkes starting. But then again, when you see that happen, you might say, okay. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Trudon. He does. I know. That's funny. He does look like that. He does look like him. but Kirkez might not get the start in this one either, simply because of Robbo getting the opportunity to speak on the team's behalf at the press conference. But this is the lineup I'm going with. We all know that Cody Gakpo tends to get the starts. We all know that Kirkez is the preferred left back at this moment, and by this coach, has been from the very beginning of the season at least. It could be. I know that me putting him in, putting Dominic in the 10, is probably not going to happen per se. Possibly not going to happen. But the reason why I do have him there is because the reason why I have Dom there is because I don't want to see him at right back. Maybe I did go a little bit step too far by putting him there in that case. But we could easily see Dom at right back. We could easily see Frimpong at right back. I think maybe I think the reason why I didn't anticipate Frimpong getting a start in this one is simply because excuse me, simply because I think Frimpong could be a vital player off the bench to give us that pace, to give us a complement to maybe either bringing him in if we need a goal late at that right back role, or even maybe if we need a goal late and Salah's just not producing, by substituting Frimpong in for a bit of pace in the right wing role that Salah holds down. I put Florian Wirtz on the left side. I know that I would prefer to see him in the 10, but again, Cody's struggled for his form, certainly. He brings other intangibles to the table, I think, that have been overlooked by a lot of people. But we need goals. As much as we need defense, we still need goals. So it's something that you need to see. So maybe if he tries Florian Wirtz on the left, I think that would make it where we're not going to be overwhelmed in our midfield, because I think this game will rise or fall on who controls the midfield. And I think that we have the best opportunity to do so by putting in our best midfield. Let's see what you guys are saying. Other than Salah looking like Drewski. Let's see. Jimmy says, please not Dom at right back. He's wasted there. I agree with that 100%. Red Armchair Supporter says, Pong for Gomez. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay. Let's see. Premier League this season, frankly, it stinks. He can see one great team this season. Set Piece FC, probably the best team in the Premier League this season. For results, yes. For results, yes. I think not for overall talent or level of like greatness for a club. No, not even one iota do I put Arsenal in that realm. I'm not saying that because I hate Arsenal. I'm saying that because most have regarded watching an Arsenal game is like is almost as bad as watching a Liverpool game. If not worse. I'd say it's even worse, actually. It is tough. We are a tough watch simply because we can't unleash the weapons that we have. Watching Arsenal play is like basically a team hoping for corner kicks and then looking to do their set piece. Let's see. I guess Sane Ab is not with us today, I guess. Shout out to Sane Ab or Sane Ab. Seen Hap. Who was with us yesterday? JK. What is your score prediction?
5-0.
Okay.
I mean, serious, bro. It just came. The number 5 just came on the TV screen. I always do that. Anytime anyone asks me for prediction, I look where I can see a number.
Okay. 5-0.
Let's go 5. You watch when it's 5-0 tomorrow. Is that JK? How did you know?
Yeah. I will ask, how did you know? I'll ask you for the lottery numbers too. But 5-0. All right. You want to be bold to pick the 5 goal scorers?
Who I want to score is Hugo Ekitike, Salah, Works. I want them 3 to score. And then a Van Dijk in between and a Szoboszlai. Yeah.
In Szoboszlai. Okay. All right.
Look, at the end of the day, I don't know what the score's going to be, but I want it to be 5-0.
I want it to be 5-0.
And it's about time. We got a 5-0. We deserve it. So
that'd be great.
And the thing is, what winds me up the most is that we've got the actual players to do that. It ain't like we've got Ricky Lambert and Christian Benteke up top. You know what I mean? So, yeah. We've got the quality. So we've got to be concentrated tomorrow.
Yeah. No problem, Jimmy. Good to see you. Catch you all tomorrow. Hopefully everyone will be with us for the Reds roll call. I definitely will be able to do one tomorrow. I'm going to see about possibly I got to get an update on our supporter pub and find out what's going on with it. But I will most likely be watching the game here in my office here. So I have tomorrow's game being 3-1. Thought I had a sheet of my scores on it, but I have it 3-1 tomorrow. I have Osimhen scoring for them, but I also have Ekitike, I have Rio, and I have McAllister being the goal scorers for us tomorrow. Those are my 3. I don't have 5-0, but then again, it's 3-1, it's 5-0. I'm happy. Just get the result. That's the most important part about what we need to see happen tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with our Champions League luck, because some of it is just that luck. Shout out to Bonkers, by the way. He's provided, I guess, something. I know that Trudon mentioned it, but now Bonkers has given a little bit clarity for it. Let me see. He's saying Monaco have been declared the winners of the 2026 Africa Cup of Nations after the Confederations of African Football overturned. He didn't give why. The result of their final defeat to Senegal. I do want to know why they overturned it. That is a very, very interesting result. Tyler has it 2-0 Liverpool. That'd be great because that means that we'd be moving on. It's a very, very possible score line as well. Let's see. I think the most important thing about tomorrow is not getting conceded on first, because I'm not saying that we can't come from behind. It's just more so if they have a 2-0 lead in aggregate, they can adjust the way that they perform or play in the game, and not have to be on the front foot. They can sit a little bit more defensively, get a little bit more of a low block concept going, and that would not be in our best interest, considering how we do not perform well against low blocks. 3-1, Red Armchair Supporter is saying, okay, he's got the same score as I do. Okay. All right. Arsenal, by the way, the only current team moving on from the Premier League. so far. 3 others get the opportunity to do it tomorrow, right? I think 3 others do, right? Newcastle, us, and Spurs all get our opportunity to join Arsenal in the next round of the Champions League next. I don't know if JK's with us. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Red Arch Reporter showing us Verts, Eke, TK, and Mac. Okay. Verts needs a goal, by the way, especially with a lot of way people have been really, some of these pundits and critics have been very, and not saying that he doesn't deserve it or doesn't, that he can't handle it or even that it's not warranted, but they have been very critical of him. Adios City. Okay. There you go. Vamos. Okay. Let us get into a little fun segment that I have here. I'm gonna ask you 10 questions. I thought maybe you'd have someone to go up against. I have 11 questions, but I'll give you the 11 question will be the final question will be a question that you can answer as a final Jeopardy style answer. But let's see if you can help. You can have the help of the chat, so you can have their help as well. JK, I'm not putting you on the spot. I know that you don't like trivia questions like that anyway. So I'll ask you this. You ready for it? You ready? Oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
I think you might.
Go on, bro.
You ready? All right.
I wasn't really ready for a quiz, but hey, go on.
I know. You can help. You can take. You can use. No, use the chat. I'm saying the chat is with you. It's you and the chat together. You're just the captain of the chat, basically. Okay?
Okay, go on with the question then.
All right. So my question is this to the chat and to JK. Which milestone could Mohamed Salah reach with his next Champions League goal?
Which milestone can he reach tomorrow, you said, yeah?
Yeah, he's got the opportunity to reach a milestone tomorrow in his career. What would be that milestone? What will be that milestone?
I know. If he scores one more, he'll be the highest African scorer in Champions League, yeah?
Ding, ding, ding.
There you go.
Wait for the chat on that one. See?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be. You have a dog. I'd say if you're scared, get a dog. You already have a dog.
Yeah, Smokey.
There you go. Yes, that is correct. Okay. He would become the first African player to score 50 Champions League goals if he scores tomorrow. Wow. Well done. Get in there. Wow, saying that might make me want to change my goal scorers tomorrow because you know how Mohamed Salah loves a milestone.
Salah's scoring tomorrow. He's scoring.
There you go. All right, next question for you. And this is for the chat too, so you guys are working together as a team. By the way, he's just JK is just being the captain of your team here. So, how many European quarterfinals has Liverpool reached if they progress tomorrow? How many European quarterfinals have Liverpool reached if they progress tomorrow?
23.
You want to wait for the chat?
Oh, that's my guess. Well, I'll see what the chat says.
Mm-hmm. Not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking. Said that with a lot of confidence. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. Random Chair Sports going, he's going much lower. 14 is what Random Chair Sports. Okay.
I think 23 is a bit far-fetched. I should have gone with 20.
No, well, I'll let you. I'll give you a +2. I'll give you a +2. You don't have to get it on the dot. I'll give you a +2. Plus or minus 2. So that's like a 4-point radius where you have to get it.
I'll go with 20 then.
Go with 20.
Yeah. Red
Red
Arm
Arm
from
supporter.
14.
Yeah, it looks like he's influenced you to go low.
Oh,
But
God,
you
he's going to be
probably should have
28
went.
now.
Yep, you should have went high. It is 29.
Oh.
29
I'd
would have been the answer.
Wow. My first inkling was it's pretty high.
Yeah,
So, wow. Okay.
29 is the answer.
That's good.
All right. All right. Which Liverpool legend does Salah equal with 94 European appearances? Which Liverpool legend does Salah equal with an appearance tomorrow? He'll have 94 European appearances. Who would he be equaling? And this is a Liverpool legend. I'll give you a hint. It's someone, I didn't meet him, but I got to see him on the preseason tour. That's making people think.
I'm just trying to think who it could be.
This guy, he plays defense.
It is Steve. No, it's not Steve
Defender.
Nicol.
He's a defender.
He's a defender. It isn't Alan Hansen, is it?
No.
Oh.
I'll give you, but I'll let you guess again.
Okay, give me a hint. Is he from the same country as Alan Hansen?
He's no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we'll go with Red Armchair's answer then. Go on then.
Is Alan Hansen, is he Scottish?
Scottish. Yeah, he's Scottish, yeah.
Okay.
So is that answer yes?
No. It would be.
I'm gonna say Steve Nicola was.
No. You would have gotten it if you thought about it, you would have gotten it. But the answer is Sammy Hyypiä.
Sammy Hyypiä, okay.
Yeah. He's Sammy Hyypiä. That's the answer. All right, let's see if I give you another one then. What Turkish team did Liverpool beat 3-0 at Anfield in 1977 after losing the first leg? What Turkish team did Liverpool beat 3-0 at Anfield in 1977 after losing the first leg?
Is it Trabzonspor?
That's your answer?
What year was it? 1977?
1977. Yeah. Go with your gut, man. Always go with your gut.
I'm going to say Trabzonspor. That's what I think. Oh, he's gone for Trabzonspor. Fenerbahce is where I'm.
No, you're right. No,
it is Trabzonspor, yeah?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. How many Champions League goals has Victor Osimhen scored this season? This was a layup because I already mentioned it in the previous
was it 7
segments.
I think it's 7, isn't it?
Do you want to go 7?
It's either 7 or 9, one of them.
I always suggest go with your gut, but you can wait for the chat to help you along.
I'm going to go with 7.
All right.
Is that right?
That would be correct. 7 it is.
Oh,
it is 7. Yeah. Yeah, it is 7. Which Liverpool defender has played every minute of the Champions League campaign? That's an easy one.
Can you say that again, bro?
Which Liverpool player has played every minute of the Champions League campaign? I'll give you a hint. It is a defender.
Virgil van Dijk.
That would be correct. Which Dutch player scored 50 goals for Liverpool before Cody Gakpo potentially could join him?
Dirk Kuyt.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, you're on
One.
fire, JK. You're on fire. Oh, goodness. All right. Let's see. Let me just make my text a little larger so I can see it. Okay. Next question. Which Liverpool player has scored the most Champions League goals for the club? This is an easy one. I'll give you bonus points if you can tell me how many he has. Which Liverpool player has scored the most Champions League goals for the club? Red Armchair supporter says Salah. Who do you want to go with?
That's who I was going to go with.
Ding, ding, ding. Once again. Yeah, it's Salah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if that was your answer. Yeah, you're like, okay.
Yeah. I was my first inkling, Salah. It was.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you know, Red Armchair is my bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to give Red Armchair supporter the win on that one. It is Salah.
How many goals?
He's got 49. I would assume he's got over 40. I say on my note I had to see it's over 40 Champions League goals for Liverpool, making him the club's highest all-time leading scorer. But if he scores another goal tomorrow, he will have 50 goals.
Wow.
It will be 50 goals which will make him the all-time leading goal scorer, African goal scorer, like you said. So, all right. When was the last time Liverpool reached the Champions League quarterfinals? When was the last time Liverpool reached the Champions League quarterfinals?
2023.
Is that what you want to go with?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
21-22.
Okay.
You're close. Just 1 year off. It's the year we made it to the final in Paris. That year. All right, 2 more questions, real quick. Last one for the regular Jeopardy. Which Galatasaray legend scored the winning goal against Arsenal in the 2000 UEFA Cup final?
Oh, I know the Emery.
I know. Maybe your wife would know this one since. Do you want to take a guess?
Hakan?
Fowler? No, it is.
Haji
was the star of the Galatasaray side back then. But the player that had the decisive moment was Georgi Popescu, right? He scored the winning.
The Romanian.
Yes, he scored the winning shootout penalty. All right, I'll give you either win or you lose on this question. How about that?
Stop.
Which Liverpool manager led the club to their first European Cup triumph in 1977?
Bob Paisley.
Yeah, that would be correct. And you just won the game.
There you go. Back tomorrow.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, look at that long time ago that was.
It was. It feels like a long time, but then again, feels like yesterday.
Bro, what do you think of that Suarez player for Sporting, the striker?
Say one more time. Which player?
There's a player called Suarez. He plays for Sporting.
Yeah.
He's all right, he is.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that is that there is a chance, albeit a small chance, but there is a chance that Liverpool in the summertime could bring in a Mane They could bring in Suarez. I don't know if is there Firmino out there to bring in yet or not, but what former great is going to be a part of our team? This is interesting that these names. I hear Mane's the Wolves player Mane is very is looked at as a player to possibly join the club or be brought in, especially if Wolves go down. He would be a player that's looked at as an opportunistic player. I don't know. It's a real question. I know there's been hints of. I saw today there was hints of this being confirmed. I don't believe it is, to tell you the truth, but there's hints about confirmation of Al Halal being purchased and Richard Hughes being the sporting director that they've chosen to hire this coming summer. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. I don't really believe that's the case. I don't think that Edwards brought in Hughes for a one and done, especially since Edwards and Hughes are so close. I don't think that Hughes would come in, spend $450 million and then bounce, But I don't know. Maybe you think different in the chat. Maybe you think different, JK. I don't know. Maybe not.
One moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that the chat wants to talk about? We are all ears. Anything the chat wants to talk about, we can talk about now. We're at that portion of this show where we're coming in on the 90th minute, so we will be either dealing with any questions or any topics that you guys want to talk about, or maybe moving on. Let's see why. Breaking with the results. Senegal has declared to have forfeited the match with Morocco. Declared 3-0 winners by official statement. CAF statement tonight. Wow. So Senegal forfeited the game. So the CAF appeal board decided that in application of Article 84 of the regulations of the CAF Africa Cup of Nations, the Senegal national team is declared to have forfeited the final match of the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. The match, with the result of the match being recorded as 3-0 in favor of the Fédération Royale Moroccan de Football. I'm still waiting to see as to why and what. What is the reason? I guess they're going to have they will have some type of answer for that.
Where aren't they? Is that about the tax thing, is it? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is, I did want to do, you could tell me if you guys are interested in this or not, but I mean, I did want to do something of a interesting perception as to the result of the Chelsea ban. I think he's meaning rumors about Oli Hoeneß. I don't know what he's talking about, to tell you the truth. I saw something about that, but I didn't see the exact story. I think he was talking about something about the spending and the likes, but it was something that I guess, I mean, this is maybe somewhat related to it. Chelsea have gotten a 1 year transfer ban, a 1 year restriction on their youth academy as well. And the ban as far as their team is going to be it's going to be suspended for 2 years. Why I really thought to bring this up at least was because let me see. Sebastian Hoeneß is one of the names being considered by Liverpool should the club part ways with Arne Slot. The German has taken Stuttgart from a relegation battle to Champions League football and their first trophy since 2007. I am not interested in that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's a Stuttgart manager, isn't he? Me and Red Armchair are having a total different conversation. Uli Hoeneß is the guy at Bayern, isn't it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the big
Mhm.
guy. Yeah.
That's
I was thinking,
Sebastian Hoeneß is the guy that I'm talking about.
yeah,
That would be the
Stuttgart,
one. That's the one connection to Liverpool. That's what I would assume that he was speaking on. But
Yeah.
Uli Hoeneß apparently did speak on the state of football. There's some conversation about the state of football, the way that Barcelona and other teams are spending recklessly and not keeping themselves within
limits.
the limits. Wow. I don't think I can here. I can't show this live, but I can't show the actual video footage of it, but I can pause it, I believe, and show you. I've got to show you this. So, again, for our Arsenal fans out there that think Liverpool is a thing, I would say it's more so this year is Arsenal is the more appropriate case. Did you see this, by the way? I'm going to show you this. See if I can show you this real quick. I'm not going to play it, but I will show. So this is Raya in the game, okay? Now in this, let me just bring it down so I can play it a second. Whoops. If you see here, this is Raya with the ball in his hands. Now you see where he's at, correct? He still has the ball in his hands, and he is full well out of the box. You can see where he is in, and he got nothing for this. They got no call for this. Arsenal are just loving life right now.
They're the Man United.
They're the new Manchester United. I mean, geez, maybe Arteta found the same monkey's paw or something, or made the same deal with the devil to get some fortunate calls for their teams, because that is absolutely atrocious the way that they get away with just murder at times in the sense of football, at least. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I know they do not care. In their minds, they don't care how they get it. They'll take a trophy. They're so desperate for a trophy, they will take it any which way they can. Any which way they can. There was one other thing I was going to show you guys before. Let me see. I know the thing with Ajax is a possibility of Arnie, but I don't think it is going to happen. Is there any reason as to why? Okay, this is what the Athletic is saying about the African Cup of Nations. It's saying the result of the 2025 African Cup of Nations has been reversed. They declared it a forfeit, which they had won 1-0 on January 18th. CAF said the decision came after an appeal from the Royal Moroccan Football Federation following that match, which Senegal won in extra time after walking off the field during normal time in protest at. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So that's how they won. Oh my goodness. Morocco, come on, man. You're better than that. You're
What
better
was the
than
reason they
that.
gave?
So what I am dejecting, or like interpreting from what they said in that game, there was an absolutely horrific call, I believe, and it was something that involved like uh people from the stands going on to the pitch or something. And I remember I believe there was something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. And there was interaction with fans and with players and likes, and it was getting ugly. It was getting very, very toxic at the moment. And I believe Senegal was like they were going to walk off the pitch when the incident was during the incident was happening or something on those lines. I remember they were about to do it, and Mane told his team to get back on the pitch and let's see this game out. Senegal came back. They proceeded to win the game, 1-0. And that's that. But by Senegal technically walking off the pitch, they thus forfeited the game by doing so. And Morocco appealed, saying that they should have won as soon as Senegal walked off the pitch. And despite the fact that the game continued on and Morocco lost, they're now saying that doesn't matter because Senegal walked off the pitch. That's a forfeit. Give us our trophy. Peace. That's pretty crazy. And that's my interpretation of what they're saying. Because I do remember that there was an incident in that game where, like, I think it was like a pitch invasion. I remember like Senegal, like people from Senegal coming onto the pitch, I believe, or something along those lines. And Senegal was going to walk off. And then Mane told them to get back on the pitch, and they did. And they played the game out. But I guess apparently, by the letter of the law, since they walked off the pitch in protest, it is a forfeit. And Monaco is like, hey, we might have lost it. We might have lost the game, but you guys forfeit. You guys forfeited by doing what you did. That's lame. It's pretty lame. I don't give any credit to Morocco for that at all, in my opinion. That's an asterisk, a serious asterisk next to that AFCON title for Morocco, if that's going to be what they're going to claim as being their victory. It is what it is.
That's why you can't celebrate nothing now in football. You score a goal, you got to wait until VAR tells you can celebrate. And now you win a trophy, and then a month later they told you have to give it back. Maybe
Yeah.
they can do that to Man City with the league titles they've won.
You would, yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
I think, you know what? And this is where I was going to go with it, because I know that I still have to do the piece on the on the 115 charges and with City, and this is related to that as well. But why I think that, you know what, there's maybe more validity in that piece that came out about City not being too big to fail, basically, in essence, with the whole, like, the reason why we haven't heard an actual verdict about Manchester City and all these different little things and blah, 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 is simply because Manchester City are such an enormous impact on the league if they were to go away. And why I say that is possibly having a little bit more validity towards my thinking, at least, is because we just watched Chelsea get caught, self-report themselves to the Premier League that they cheated. Now, albeit it wasn't this current, and they wanted to make sure, they kept making sure that people understood the American ownership group was not the cheaters that went and did this cheating. This was during the Roman Abramovich era of football for Chelsea. It's just another measure of a stain for Roman Abramovich's tenure as the ownership group or owner of Chelsea, in my opinion. Okay, because the rulings shows how he was making illegal payments. He's making payments under the table. He wasn't properly reporting payments, and thus they got fined. But why I'm going down this route, and you can hear me in the chat, in JK, I know you're on mute, but still, hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. And why I'm thinking this is because Everton, Leicester, Forest, they're relatively big teams, but they're not the size and scope of Chelsea, the size and scope of even Manchester City currently. All of those teams I just mentioned had breaches that were, if anything, far less than what these teams like Chelsea have been found guilty of. And Everton, for instance, got penalized by points. Leicester has gotten penalized by loss of points. Yet when it comes to Chelsea, and what might be the case, we don't have the verdict yet, but might be the case for Manchester City, it will most likely be a punishment by finances. This 10 some odd million fine that they got is the largest fine for a club in brought on by the Premier League in its history. That's what I believe it is. And although that is obviously going to be the headline that associates the 10 million being fined to the team, $10 million, 10.75 or whatever it is, 10 million and change is just that. It is change in the pockets of Chelsea. It has no impact whatsoever to the fact that their cheating benefited them in winning titles, in getting Champions League placements, in pushing other teams into relegation, into taking players from teams with the resourced finances that they utilize of under the table payments. It is absolutely a slap on the wrist, as Red Armchair supporter is saying. I can't emphasize enough how disappointed I am in the Premier League that they continue to do or to allow for this what does seem to be favoritism. What could easily be seen as favoritism. And there is no reason why a team like Everton has to suffer not only points deductions, not once, but twice in the same season. You have a case where a team has been caught cheating for multiple years. And yet that is a small fine in terms of the finances of these clubs. That is really, really disappointing that other teams that have been playing by the rules, teams that have been they're doing their best to go about staying within the financial fair play, the PSR terms, but more financial fair play at that time. Those teams are being told that, too bad for you. You could have done what Chelsea did, paid a small fine later, and yet had trophies in the cabinet. It's an absolute sham that is being allowed or has been allowed and not properly punished, in my opinion. And these aren't alleged. This is obviously done. So there's no me having an opinion on it doesn't mean that Chelsea can challenge or take me to court for my opinion. But that is an absolute sham. I think it will just as Red Armchair supporter said, those kinds of actions will only encourage it to continue on, if not finding more and more ways of not only doing it, but doing it better. Doing it more. And that's the scary thing about it. That's the very scary thing about it. Oh, man. Well, we're closing on 2 hours. We're going to stop at the 90th minute. We're now moving in on the 1 hour and 50th minute of the show. Yeah, this is way into injury time. It's a shame. I can't say it enough. It's an absolute shame as to, some of the things that are being allowed to really impact the state of football today. I mean, I know the gentleman that I was having this conversation with online. We didn't see eye to eye with some of the things that he had to say. I understand his take on it was this or that, or this for whatever reason. Excuse me. He was more set upon, maybe projecting the state of his own club and then talking about the state of football and, being a vehicle for his frustrations. But it is frustrating. It is frustrating that these company or these nation states, these, pro-Kremlin oligarchs, how these individuals can get involved into the game of football in England and manipulate it in a possible dangerous direction. It is very, 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 very sad. Very sad. Well, I'll tell you what's sad. It's sad if you are a Senegalese person, because you have just gotten your trophy taken away from you. It's very, very sad. But we're going to leave you with a bit of Red Zen, just to uplift the mood a little bit here. It was a tough game to watch for the Spurs match. Very, very tough game to watch. But there was one highlight, other than Rio, which was a highlight itself. But I will say this. There was another highlight that was in the stands, and it was so good to see, because this player might not be a legend for some. He might be a club icon. He might be a cult hero. He might even be a legend for some. He's a legend for me, because I absolutely love the time that this guy played as a Liverpool Red. At least this much happened yesterday. At least we got to see this man back in Anfield. And he even brought his young one with him. He says it was so lovely to be home. Yes, Joel Matip, you are certainly home as a Red. So, with that said, I don't think, JK, you want to quickly say peace out?
Yep. Peace to the chat as always, man. And peace to you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get a win.
Yeah. Let's get this win tomorrow, people. We're coming in on 2 hours, like I said. Definitely well into injury time, or extra time. But it was worth it to see Joel. Definitely, I think a Liverpool legend. I know some might not say the such, but all the same, when players deliver the type of silverware that this individual was a part of, you become legends in your own right. So shout out to Joel. Shout out to the legends in the chat as well, the OGs, the new attendees as well that have joined. Hopefully hit that subscribe button, and definitely join us tomorrow. Reds Roll Call. We're going to get one together. But until then, and as always, up the Reds each and every time. And we will see you tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Peace.